love it.
Birds and Niners 4-0.
I'll come back for the Love is Blind talk.
No, I really wanted. No, hold on. I really have a question here while we're on the fuckery. Like, is this now too much Taylor Swift? Are we like?
It's always been.
No, it's not. I am violently indifferent to Taylor Swift content. Like, people are so mad about it online. It is wild. And like, I'm sitting there watching the game being like, this doesn't impact me at all.
So here's
like,
the
I don't know, the biggest musician is at the game. Like, they do that for everyone. Every time Drake's at a Raptors game, we see him 50 times on the broadcast. So like, what? Who cares?
Do you know what's funny though? For me, it was kind of like, okay, I get it, but just make like dope shit. For me, it's like, I get it, but just make dope shit. Like, I thought their opening with Carson Daly sucked.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Like, they're just, because at this point, you know what they did? They were just like, oh, we're NBC. Let's just force feed as many NBC properties into this. So we're going to get Carson Daly to tape this on cam while he's doing the voice. We'll do it with the promo. We'll cut awkwardly to Gwen Stefani and whoever else was sitting there, whoever else is on that show. And then he'll just read all these terrible Taylor Swift lines and we'll make this into an open. I was like, this sucks. If you're making a dope Taylor Swift open, okay, I can get on board with that. But that obviously took like no effort. Clearly they were like, hey, Carson, during this commercial break, we need you to read these lines. Can you do that for us? And then they put some highlights over it. I'm like, this is trash. And Mike Tirico, I'm not a Mike Tirico guy.
No, I mean,
so like Mike Tirico
I don't know
trying
many
to
Mike
be
Tirico guys out there.
Valid point.
I don't know many people who stand for Mike, you know?
Maybe Toads. We need Toads, a fellow Italian. Probably
does he have a signature call? Like, I can try to, like,
Tirico?
Does he have a good one?
I don't know, man. Mike Tirico.
He's been there for a couple of moments. He's had a couple of moments where he's been there for big games or big moments, maybe not necessarily big games.
See, I don't even remember that. But I'm just saying, like, Taylor Swift is like, I get it. Okay. First off, I want to say, should she be getting as much credit more so than Blake Lively? I feel like Blake Lively is being a little disrespected here in that whole booth setup. Not even a name check, not even a full on.
Ryan,
there's a murderer's row up there. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. Right,
Serena
like a
Vanderwoodson.
Yo, right? Sophie Turner.
That's
yo,
her name,
Lady
right?
Sansa didn't even get like a full on cam.
I know it.
That's crazy. What are we doing?
She's Queen of the North. Come on.
Right?
That's the Taylor Swift effect, man. You know?
But yeah, I know it's funny. I just love the discourse that it's bringing, but I also find it interesting because the NFL is week after week the most watched thing on television by far. You don't need to acquiesce to do all this extra Taylor Swift stuff. Like, you could mention it.
But the other way, she's got a movie coming out. So she wants some of that NFL pub.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that statement.
I think this is just working. This is beneficial for all parties. Kelsey's getting jersey sales and IG followers. The NFL is getting a demographic of viewers that they never had before. Taylor Swift is popping up on people's feeds that she didn't think she would before. She's going to come out with a movie. Kelsey and T Swift mutually agree to part ways. You know,
the Kelseys have a movie
conscious uncoupling.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get
the Kelseys. This is all an Amazon work, right? To use. What did you guys say earlier? It's all a work.
As a wise man once told me back in the day, it's all a work.
And I mean, you know what? If it isn't a work, we all get to say we were there when we saw true love blossom between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you know?
And who doesn't love love?
Oh, come on.
Milton and Lydia.
But like, here's a funny thing, right? So Amazon obviously paid the NFL a whole lot of money, right? So Amazon has a Taylor Swift doc. Amazon has a Kelsey's doc. Amazon also paid so much money that they made the NFL, despite all of the medical claims that you should not do this. They're like, you know what? We're going to have games on Friday. We're just going to, Amazon paid so much money. They're like, you're going to put a game on Friday just because we want you to. That's how much money is involved for all of this, to the fact that I was laughing. Mecole Hardman has like a 50-yard run. Like, he just books it. He gets in the end zone. Before he gets to the second step of his two-step, They've already cut to Taylor Swift hugging. And I'm like, yo, you can't let my guy cook just a little? Let him get his dance off a little? Like, what are we doing here? Come on, man. No, you guys
I think you're just cheese because you took the Chiefs. And Mahomes slid at the one.
No,
I think you're still cheesed at that whole game, at that whole situation.
Listen,
that was a very
I saw that
slide.
coming. I saw it coming a mile away. Like I wasn't in the moment when it happened. I've already resided to the terrible non-cover, like 10 minutes before.
Total robbery. That game was brutal. I thought the officiating was like
it was wild.
Conspiratorial with Taylor Swift somehow. Yeah. I was trying to connect the dots. I was like Charlie with the board and the strings.
And Taylor was smart enough to not take the point. She just took Chiefs money line. You know what I mean? She just she knew that the number was probably a couple points too big. You know, the hook scared her. So let's just make it easy.
That game though was a classic. The Chiefs were rolling. The Chiefs are going to lose this game. And then all of a sudden, your man's Mahomes was just like, how can I make this game a little more difficult? Let me try to like just lob it over these two defenders.
Yeah, that pick was wild.
Right? It's just like, he threw it and you're looking at him. And after he's doing this in the air and it's like, oh yeah, he's just fucking with them. Like he knows like this game does not matter. He doesn't give a fuck at all. It was hilarious. But yeah, this Taylor Swift, I want to know how this ends. Not because like how do they script the ending of this Taylor Swift thing? That's what I want to know.
Pregnancy. Gotta
you said the other guy going completely under the radar and all this. Like Ryan Reynolds is like a massive star. Hugh Jackman is a massive star, and it's just like under the shadow of Taylor Swift. It's like none of these people matter.
Yeah, right? Not Taylor Swift level stars.
What about the come up?
Guy wasn't that good.
I put it in the group text, but like, what a big break for Brittany Mahomes. Brittany Mahomes getting the call up to be I saw it on page 6. Page 6 tweeted it out. Saturday night, Brittany Mahomes rolling to dinner with an all-star cast of Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and Lady Sansa.
Yeah,
that's a come up for Brittany Mahomes.
Girls and yeah.
That's a come up right there. Sure beats the Jackson Mahomes crew dinner that she'd probably normally be going to on a Saturday before the game. No?
Behind bars? Or what? Didn't he get in trouble?
He's in a lot of trouble.
I haven't seen camera on him in a while.
Yeah, probably going to be that way for a while. NBA Media Day was going on. Speaking of cameras in front of people.
We had a huge trade, if Chelly.
Hold on. I got special instructions from a mutual friend of ours, Danielle Michaud, yesterday.
Hey.
She said, I need you guys.
Podcast name.
This is big.
Here.
She said, I need you guys on the DVP pod to discuss Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler's hair. That's what she said to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I know this is going to be one of the top topics. And I'm like, you know what? It's true. I can't get into the NBA talk even before we get to Dame, before we get to Drew. What's your man's Jimmy Butler doing?
Okay, Sheldon. I know you keep it 100. I know, Jay-Z is your number one artist, but have you ever dipped your toe into a little, like mid 2000s, early 2000s era emo? Have you ever just taken a couple of listens?
Just take it for a test drive.
Just take Fall Out Boy for a quick test drive.
Yeah.
Does a Jay-Z Linkin Park collab count? Does a Jay-Z Linkin Park?
No. No, it doesn't count. Now I've always been pretty
Encore and Numb. Was that the song?
Yeah,
Do I have that right?
Yeah,
That's
you do.
Miami Vice, with fucking. So I've always been follically challenged. I've never been able to grow a great head of hair. I don't know. Douglas, I know, has some great bright orange hair.
Yes, I do. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about great, but it is indeed bright orange.
I don't know if you've ever experimented with the hair on top of your head. I'm guessing you didn't have, a little wisp going. But that was the style at the time. Douglas, I got to bring it to you.
Sure.
Did you ever rock any sort of an emo cut?
So I never had the emo swoop. Like when I was in high school, long hair shags were a big thing. Now my hair, when it grows out, gets pretty curly. So I had this really weird in between kind of like curly ginger fro moment going on that I still am kind of mad at my friends that no one pulled me aside and said like, this is not the look. This is not it. So no, I didn't have the full on emo swoop, which I feel like is tough to pull off in general. But hey, Jimmy, he pulled it off.
Jimmy's like Mr. Dress Up.
He's the best.
He can go from country, like we've got country Jimmy, we've got emo Jimmy, we've got coffee barista Jimmy.
Y'all are cool with this?
Love it.
100%.
100%.
Nah, can't do it.
Shelly, it's a work. It's a work.
It is a work. It is a work. That's so true. That is so true. It is we're being worked.
You know what? You guys are correct because I'm the idiot that literally introed this segment by saying before we talk about the Dame trade, meaning Miami not getting Dame Lillard, I'm talking about Jimmy Butler's hair.
Do you think Pat Riley? Do you think Pat Riley got the emo jacket for Jimmy Butler out of his own closet? He's like, Jimmy, we're gonna need to get you to the hairdresser, and I've got this black ensemble that I think it'll look great. It'll take everybody's mind off the fact that we got totally pantsed by the Milwaukee Bucks.
You know what it is, though? It's one of those moments that happen now when I wake up in the morning or you scroll the timeline and that meme or that headline basically should just say to me, Shelly, you're old. Right? Like that's basically what it's. I see that. I'm like, what are you doing here? I don't understand it. But I'll equate it to the what's my guy? The guy on Joe Budden. He always says COE, content over everything. That's what Jimmy Butler's doing, right? He walks in and like that's gonna be the topic of conversation for the whole day. But like, nah, man, that's doing too much. We talk about all the time. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you could have done so many other things. And how do you have the extreme of that's what Jimmy Butler's doing? And your man's Kyle Lowry shows up to media day and he's like, yeah, I'm not talking to the media. Like
yo, did he really do that? No way.
Yeah. Lowry showed up to media day and he's just like, I'm not talking to the media. So he didn't take a question, just showed up, took his pictures, and he was out.
Greatest Raptor of all time.
That's the GOAT, man. That's the GOAT. So
I have a question about the Jimmy Butler thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the answer is yes. But like when I'm playing fantasy basketball and I pick Jimmy Butler, let's say, and I click his little thing to see his game log, that's the picture that I'm going to get up there. That is so spectacular. That is absolutely fantastic.
So here's a breakdown. So remember last year, right? He had the long dreads.
Yeah.
So he did the bit last year, and then it took until I was just listening to them talk about this. I think it took until like midway through the season. So now every team across the league, when they do the starting lineups, that's his headshot that they have to use.
That is fantastic.
Right?
I am all in.
So
I couldn't be more in on this. That is the best. That
midway
is so
through the season, though, when they were finally like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And then Jimmy Butler got mad because I don't know if it was a Miami broadcast or what team it was that they were playing, but instead of the headshot from last year, they used his 2K photo. So
no way.
Yeah, the like computer generated version of Jimmy Butler. They use that as a headshot because they refused to use his troll. So yeah, his new one this year is going to be that. And that's what he's trying to do.
Because here's the one thing that we can agree on, right? Who's that guy in the NHL who he just like takes a picture with wide eyes and everybody thinks it's really funny?
Oh yeah,
it's just a dude standing there with wide. Like we can all agree that the Butler thing's significantly funnier than just a dude standing there, right?
Correct.
Like this is significantly better, right?
Correct.
Meanwhile, like people love tweeting out Chris Tanev's photos,
but that's the difference.
I don't know how much engagement
NHL
Chris
humor
Tanev is getting.
See
NHL humor, NBA humor.
That's exactly right. I always ask, like, is it funny or is it hockey funny?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Those are two different things.
Is it racist or is it just hockey?
Are you hockey popular? Are you popular in the culture, or are you hockey popular in the culture?
Okay, I love this pod so much right now. Okay, Dame trade. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Literally recording the picks pod with Russell. Russell's talking about, I don't know, insert whatever pick now. I look down at my phone and my phone, like, messages just keep popping up, but all anyone is texting is just saying Dame. And I'm like, what the hell's happening right now? Then my phone rings, which is connected to my computer. So the phone starts ringing loud. And I'm like, what's happening? So
sirens are going off.
Yeah. And this is like while Rusty's talking, right? He's talking about whatever, Daniel Jones sucks or some shit like that.
Houston.
So I actually go to my phone and I look, and then finally someone said to the Bucks, and my reaction while he's talking, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm like literally live on a show right now. Like, sorry, Rusty, my bad.
Incredible.
Dame to the Bucks out of nowhere. How stunned were you guys by this one?
Yeah,
I was floored.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because we had heard like the Bucks and Giannis might be heading for like a prolonged breakup over the next year or two. Like the owner sold, like kind of writing was on the wall with the Bucks that maybe they were going to go through a bit of a transition, and they just came with a hammer and were like, nah, man, we're doubling down. Let's get it.
Which is huge. And I just have so much respect for teams that like make their moves without leaking a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I just
silence
and violence.
It's so much better. And like, you know, obviously like a lot of people have given their thoughts on the breakdown of the trade and like, oh man, did they lose too much on defense? Like, to me, it's as simple as Giannis and Dame in a half court set with a pick and roll, pick and pop, whatever. It's just like, I don't know what anybody does to guard that. So like just the like upside is so awesome. And like it should just be so fun to watch, man.
It's like the NBA sometimes, right? It's as simple as you just want a ticket to the dance. And if you're telling me you're entering the dance with Dame and Giannis, like even if you end up losing, you have to take that shot.
Take the swing.
You got to do that. And at that point too, Giannis is still arguably the best player. If he's not number one, he's top two. Do you know what I mean? In the league. And now you're pairing him with Dame Lillard, who I think even if you're saying Dame's numbers might be inflated because he's in Portland and, you know, they don't win like on a high level consistently year in, year out, how much easier is it going to be for him doing that beside Giannis? Oh, yeah. That part I'm super interested to see what's going on, right? Like Dame had to extend his range to like 10 feet beyond the line because guys could just guard him, double team him, do whatever. Now, like you can't double team Dame, right? And then you got Chris Middleton who say whatever you want, but if Chris Middleton's your number 3,
your third best scorer, all of a sudden it's
and he just got to sit in the corner now in the Grayson Allen spot. Shouts to Grayson Allen, right? Like that's a pretty good team right there. You just got to fill out around the edges. And like, I thought they should have went and tried to get Reggie Bullock. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think they'll get some minimum guys though and stuff, right? You got to vet some vet guys.
So with Drew, the other part of this being Drew Holiday going to Portland and then going to Boston, with Drew Holiday now on that team with, and I know this is a huge caveat, but Kristaps Porzingis, the Latvian gangbanger, say he's healthy. Okay. Just for this exercise.
Who, Porzingis?
Are the Boston Celtics better than the Bucks?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Like here's the one thing I want to ask you guys. If you guys were the Milwaukee Bucks, you're the Bucks GM. Do you make this trade if you know that Drew Holiday ends up on the Celtics?
Yeah.
I think you still do. Yeah, I think you still do. I think like for kind of what Webby was saying earlier too about the whole, like there were so many rumors that Giannis was like wanting something to happen, and at least this locks in for a couple years like this duo with Chris Middleton. Like you got to take the swing, as we had said, right? And I just think like the upside changes.
You got to keep Giannis happy.
Exactly.
And this makes Giannis happy.
Exactly.
And so you do it every time.
Like the last time Giannis was kind of floating out like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to sign the Supermax. They traded for Drew Holiday and then they won a title. And then this time he's like, I don't know if I'm going to stick around. So like, that's just the green light to like, okay, make your move. Like,
So the Celtics, I think, you know, you look at their roster now, basically they upgraded from Marcus Smart to Drew Holiday, which is a huge, huge upgrade.
How many defensive players of the year has Drew Holiday won?
Stop this, Webby. I'm not falling for your troll right now, man. That's an upgrade.
Oklahoma State, baby.
Hey. But yeah, the Celtics, I mean, it's still going to come down to Tatum and Brown, but I think bringing in Drew Holiday gives them another ball handler that you can trust. So it's less ball handling for Jaylen Brown, who maybe he learned how to dribble with his left hand in the offseason.
I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to go ahead and say he did not.
But it's like a good way to shore that up. You know, by having a guy like Drew Holiday. Yeah.
And for the record, I'm going to back up my guy Simon here for all the Porzingis slander. I saw people posting this yesterday talking about Porzingis' injury. He played 65 games last year.
Yeah,
Giannis played, he played 65 games last year. Giannis played 63. Embiid played 66. Jokic played 69. Right? Like,
but that's it's the prolonged injury history of Porzingis, right? It's not just last year.
But maybe we like to, just like we love, let's focus on the positives.
Yeah, you turn the corner.
And what we just saw,
I can go. You want me to get the Latvian flag? Should I go get the Latvian flag again? No, we'll leave it in the closet. I will say, like, the one thing that's the only kind of concern I would have on the Celtics, because like on paper, everybody healthy, that's an awesome team. And you got like depth with the Derek Whites of the world and all that type of stuff. It like, for your two bigs to be injury-prone Porzingis and damn near 40-year-old Al Horford, like that is
tough.
We are asking a lot there.
They got to go get Dwight Howard, man.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to come back. Doesn't he love it in Taiwan or where?
No, he was meeting with the Warriors, right? Yeah. He's meeting with the Warriors. That was a rumor thing for a while, so he's probably
make that team a little more unlikable.
They need like a JaVale McGee or something. Like, where's he at? Right? They need like one of those dudes.
Yeah, he was in Dallas. They signed him to a big contract, didn't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. They'll probably get someone to like eat some minutes or be some sort of rotation big, because that's a lot. That's we're one knee injury or one Al Horford's 40 away from being some sort of
But right now, Boston's still number one team in the East, or
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Boston's number one because the depth of that team, right? Like, if you're talking about Kristaps being your fourth option on offense or third option, and then Drew's your fourth, like that's a loaded team that you can suffer injuries during the season and still be really good to not fall apart. You know what I mean? And like finish sixth or fourth or whatever. Let's say someone does go down. You have enough scoring behind all four of those guys. The other thing though with Milwaukee, Middleton, you assume that he's going to be healthier this season. That's the hope. The depth behind them though, like they still need some other pieces around. They need like, you need, what's my guy's name?
A lot of Jay Crowder. A lot of Jay Crowder.
Crawford.
A lot of Jay Crowder minutes coming.
Need a lot of Jay Crowder minutes coming along. But after that, like who is it? Is it still Philly? Is it still Miami?
I was going to ask.
The Sixers.
Yeah, I was going to ask what Webby's take on this whole thing is. Like a lot of good teams in the East got way better. What are we thinking about that? Let's do the Sixers check-in here.
It's funny because I wanted to ask you a question about this. I was glad that you were on the pod because obviously you saw James Harden in the club and the girls with the sparklers come over with the huge sign that says Daryl Morey is a liar. Is James Harden a Vanderpump Rules fan? Because that's all I thought was your boy James Kennedy going, Daryl Morey is a liar. That's all I thought.
Incredible. James Kennedy, by the way, DJ James Kennedy playing a set in Toronto at some point this month.
You're going.
Stop this. Yeah, that's not a real thing.
100% a real thing. Yeah.
So we're the worst. We're the Sixers and we're the worst. I may not. I put it out there. I may not watch any Sixers games. I may hop on the Thunder bandwagon because that their pick dropped. Their media day pick dropped. I was like, I like the look of that team. That's a good squad. Hold on.
We're not doing. Hold on.
Sixers?
Yeah, we're not doing this. Normally, my guy's always here, ready to talk about Philly. He wanted to talk about. He's wearing his.
Focus on the Fightins. Yeah, the focus is on the Fightins.
Red October, baby.
No.
I got fired up. The hype video came on today.
Hold on. No. We're not doing this. So Harden is not showing up to media day. Is he showing up to training camp?
I don't know.
What's Morey saying? I saw the only clip I saw from Morey yesterday was they actually asked him to comment on James Harden's comments, obviously, and he's like, well, I think my track record speaks for itself, and I've been in the league for over 20 years, and that is not the case, and whatever. The point is James Harden going to actually play for the Sixers?
I mean, I just feel that the injury is coming soon. James Harden's
hamstring.
Hamstring's bunged up. Like, that's it. And then he just won't play. So, I just don't expect him to play at all. I don't think he has any interest. You would think if he's smart, he just doesn't say a word, comes in and balls. Just balls. Just comes
that's
in.
That's not how he likes to go at a situation.
But that's not James Harden.
That's not.
In the years of history we've had with James Harden, never has he done that.
No.
The NBA is such a crazy place that it's kind of swept under the radar just a little bit. Like, we talk about it, but I don't think we talk about it enough. Like, the level of quitting that James Harden has gone to year in, year out. It's very impressive.
I mean, legends are made of.
So I saw TikTok. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if I'm being worked, but there's this whole like James Harden story about how he dated this girl, and then this girl moved on and started dating Kelly Oubre, and like they have 2 kids and everything. And then Kelly Oubre signed with the Sixers this year. Mm-hmm. And then that's when James Harden started going crazy and saying,
No, that's not when James Harden started going crazy.
Oh, sorry.
It's just adding more crazy
on Maury started then.
Doesn't help.
Yo.
Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but anyway.
I just think James Harden, like, just some of the things we sweep under the radar, like that clip now of when he was quitting on the Nets. Remember, and they like rolled the ball's like rolling back on defense, and he's like jogging beside it and just lets the defender pick the ball up and score the layup. And it's like, yo, this guy really just blatantly quits in front of our eyes, and there's still going to be teams that are like, yeah, come play for our team. I don't understand. Yep. It's insane. Yeah.
Here's $100 million. Insane behavior. Have a great day.
It's the whole like, maybe I can fix him thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it. That's what I thought with the Sixers.
Maybe he's
going from this toxic situation. He's going to.
You guys just compare James Harden to James Kennedy in the club with a sign that says that his general manager is a liar.
Yeah,
in real life, and that's going to be the face of my franchise. Yo, that's crazy.
It is going to be crazy. Like whoever ends up trading for him. I can't wait to see the spin that they try to do of we got a multi-time first team all NBA and just ignoring everything else, but we got an MVP and a blah blah blah.
MVP.
That's gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna
that
be
press
amazing.
release is gonna be good.
Media day vibes a little off in Philly, a little off in Miami, and a little off in Toronto. First off, Dennis Schroeder didn't land in time to do any interviews. So that lost the opportunity to at least allow the Raptors to have some spin mode, right? Like the real ones would know, but you could still spin and be like, hey, he's our new point guard. He's going to
replace the best player in the world.
He had a great summer.
He's the best player in the world.
Yeah,
exactly. But without that, all the focus ends up being on Masai Ujiri's comments about selfishness last year. And I got to be honest, okay? I saw the Masai Ujiri press conference, and the way that Twitter works, it's turned it into this whole Masai called Pascal selfish, which isn't what happened. Do you know what I mean? But it's just funny that like we're on media day and the swords are out to just carve down this Raptors team already. And it's kind of unfair. I think just let it play out. Let it be what's going to be. And, Masai's not calling Pascal selfish. I guarantee you they're going to sign him in training camp. You're going to hear the extension is going to come back down because, they got to do something for positive PR. But, Raptors vibes right now. What's going on?
Yeah, the vibes have been off for how long now? This is season 2 of vibes being off in Raptors land. Yeah, it's going to be weird. It was funny, watching the clips back because, all the, the quote tweets. What do you call quote tweets on X?
Quote tweet.
Okay. Quote X.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it. Anyway.
I don't know. There's no difference between. I said this the other day. No difference between Twitter and X. Other than now, I'm getting like very hot chicks liking all of my posts.
I'm sure they're all real.
Like,
yes,
that's what changed when X came around.
They're
Okay?
real and they're spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, it was funny
About as
seeing all
real
the
as
reaction.
Sixers championship hopes this year.
It was weird seeing all the reaction be like, "Oh man, this is like." Masai taking shots at Siakam and stuff, and like watching the actual clips, you're like, I don't think that's what was happening.
Well, the thing was, I feel like Masai came into the presser with a firm thought process of, I'm going to be accountable. Right. So the first thing when he started talking about Fred leaving for nothing, and he says, hey, we wanted to do right by a player that we felt very highly of. And if it meant not trading him at the deadline for something we didn't think was worth it, so that he could go to a place that he didn't want to go to, if you take that as a failure, cool. I'll take that failure. He's being accountable. They asked him about the selfishness and how do you change it from last year to this year, right? That was the question. And he said, there will be no selfishness this year, right? Like he's trying to that's how that whole narrative started. And then with the follow-ups, then he's like now having to elaborate. And then again, you get the quote tweets where it's like, he called Pascal selfish. Yeah. It's like, why would he call Pascal Siakam like, what logic does that make? Why would he do that? Right? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
But Darko, I'm very interested to see how this Raptor season plays out, because we know nothing about how good this coach is going to be, but there's a world in which he could be a really good coach, right? Have a really different style of play and maybe unlock some different things, some different players. Like, this is media day, right? And like training camp should be times of hope, right? Not despair already. There's going to be a lot of time for despair. But like right now, it can't be this grimy and sad already.
No, the only really fan base that should be in despair are, as we've established, Sixers fans.
That was what was so funny. I was looking at, I had Twitter up on my phone a little while ago, and it was obviously Sixers Media Day, and their thing is just like pictures of all of them just smiling, like over exaggerated smiling. And I was like, da, 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 da. Phillies, let's go, baby! Wheels up tonight, let's go. Red October.
It's like the second game of the season is like Nick Nurse back in Toronto.
Is it Sixers, second game?
Yeah, it's like the second game of the season. Yeah. That's going to be incredible.
The movable object against the very resistible force. That's what we're calling that game.
Jeez. Lots of craziness going on there. There's also playoffs going on, and by the time people listen to this conversation, there could be like 2 Jays games that are over by that time, right? But I want to talk about playoff baseball in general and the people who were mad at the celebrating of making the playoffs.
Okay, I have to leave real soon. I got to go. I got to bounce to a different call real quick. Okay, you're the Jays. So okay, you're the Jays, and you clinch hours after your game ends that you should have won to clinch, right? So then you wait to the next game and you win, but you're already in the playoffs, and then you celebrate after that game.
No, they lost that game.
Yeah,
they lost that game. Sorry, they lost that last game of the year, and then still celebrated?
Oh, yeah.
It's a work, right? It's a work. It's only for the cameras, right? It's a work.
If it was a work, then I hope they would have written a better plot line for my guy, Jay Jackson, who just got completely just shit canned. Like, what? That's the worst deal ever. They're like, listen, we got to waive you so we can bring up this guy from the minor leagues to like eat up innings. Like, what? On the last day of the season? What are we doing here?
It's tough.
That's a tough
all right. I got to go. Bye. Listen, talk Milt. I need to hear some Love is Blind talk later. So
we're going to talk Love is Blind, but we'll save most of it for next week.
Oh, because we got to get the final episodes. They're always the worst, though.
I've only watched the first 4. Was it? How did they come out?
People getting married.
Yeah, there's 7 out now or something? 6 or 7?
There's 3 more to go, I think. Okay, so bye guys. Go Phils.
Later, Webby.
Woo!
Nobody's repeating. Nobody's co-signing Go Phils. Nobody's co-signing that. So I did watch on you guys' recommendation. I did watch the first few episodes of Love is Blind. And I got to say, they did suck me right back in.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great job. And I got to say this, a great job in reality TV producing that okey doke they pulled where midway through towards the end of what episode was it? 3? Then you found out that the two people actually knew each other before they came into the pods. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, really good.
Didn't see that coming.
I was wondering if the format was going to get a little stale, but turns out no. Turns out no, it's not. They really figured some stuff out.
Call got canceled. We're back.
Let's go. Let's go. So what's my girl's name?
Lydia.
Lydia.
So that whole storyline, right? Of her.
It's a work.
It's all a work.
It was a work. No, it actually was a work. That came out of I was sitting there and I was like, wait, what? Hold on. They knew each other? But hold on. How bad is it though that when they replayed the clip of them first coming in on the first day and she right away knows that it's him and he's like, wait, who is this? Like he has no idea. And she starts giving clues and he still has no idea.
Yeah, clueless.
I thought that was so hilarious.
Nobody's given off bigger broken iPhone screen vibes than Lydia. Her iPhone screen is cracked to shit. 100%. Okay, that is like I took a look at her. She did her first like interviews, and I was like, "Yeah, she'll go through my emails and like my texts. Like, that's what's happening. Like, give it up. Like, there's no use in fighting against it."
She is like the definition of that. Those memes that have the access point. I'm forgetting the actual proper term.
Fuck around and find out.
No. The one of like the level of hotness and crazy meat. You know what I mean? And it's like. One plane's going this way, one's this way, and wherever that meets, there's something there that just seems a little bit off. And I feel bad for your boy Milton because, like, I don't know what happens after the first whatever episodes. You guys are probably further along than I am.
Oh, I'm fully caught up.
Yeah, she's gonna gobble that dude up, right? Like that's what. Like that dude has no chance against her. Zero chance. That dude's a little kid.
Yeah, that dude is a kid.
24.
That dude is a really tall, gangly, goofy-looking kid.
Yeah, nerd, straight nerd vibes, bro. 100%.
Oh my god, that's so amazing. But that show is great, Simon. You alluded to it. They remixed a bunch of different things within the show, and if you think about it, there were both men and women. That we didn't even see them go on dates, and yet they found enough content to get us through the pods.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude. This has got to be the fewest amount of actual couples trying to get married we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Like this is not even. It's not even close. We've whittled down to just a couple couples going on here. It's wild.
I think the contestants are starting to realize like. We don't have to get engaged. Like we can still like have some sort of connection, and we'll be on the show.
You know what? Maybe I don't want to be dumped at the altar. That doesn't sound that good.
It doesn't sound that awesome.
I don't want to get my entire family to dress up for a wedding to see if I get rejected.
I don't want my little brother to fight my my husband to be. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah,
I want
although
that was fight
sweet.
Your groom to be.
Yo, what was the dude's name? JP. I gotta say, and Sheldon, I'm sorry if this is a This is a spoiler. I'm sorry.
This is
I
totally
really
allowed
wanted
to spoil
them.
Love Is Blind. That's totally
You mean JP? You mean American Dream?
Okay, so here's the thing. I so badly wanted them to make it past the honeymoon thing because I wanted to see what his apartment looked like. Because all I wanted to do was see how many American flags were in this guy's apartment. All I wanted to do. I was so mad. I mean, I don't care about him at all. He is so boring, and I don't care about him at all. But all I wanted to see was how, like, where were the stars and stripes? We're talking plates. We're talking all the wallpaper. We're talking bed sheets. Exactly. Like, this is all I wanted to see.
Pillowcases.
Oh, my God.
How did my guy have pillows in the pod? Like, red, white, and blue. Like, did he bring those in?
And
like, those provided to him?
Dude,
some of it was not patriotic. Like he had a Stars and Stripes hanky. Like all of a sudden you're wiping your nose with the American flag. Like I think we've gone the other way. I think we're now no longer patriotic and we're just disrespectful now.
We're disrespecting the flag. Imagine your whole personality revolving around a piece of fabric. Go Phillies. Go Phillies. Go Phillies.
Is it bad or like a bad sign of the times that him showing the American flag had me sitting here being like, okay, so when's the Trump reveal coming?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and
somebody
I feel
said,
bad
where
for
were
that.
you
Like,
January 6th? Where were you?
and that shouldn't be my response to the American flag, right? But that's just what it's become. Like, that's how divisive that like the US is over just such basic things as like their American flag. But this show, I always find with these shows, you're watching it and you're thinking, who's the most normal people? But you can't have like too many normal people because then the show's boring.
Yeah.
So like even Stacy, who's like a huge portion of the first 4 episodes anyways, I'm like, I can smell the crazy. Like I can see it. Like they're trying to like hide it down. And my guy's like, oh yeah, I'm going to marry her because she's fun. And we don't talk about anything serious. And I'm like, that's why you want to, like, what is happening?
I like it.
Bro, as soon as you send that email to Love is Blind saying, I'm interested in joining, the crazy's there.
Yeah, good point.
The crazy is there to send that email to say that you're interested in joining this show or really any reality show. But definitely this one. But no, the most normal person is my girl. They even brought her back. They brought her back because they know she's a star. That small blonde.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what her name is.
Renee.
They bring her back just to hang out.
Yeah.
Renee.
Because they know she's just chill. Like, we just need to follow her. Right?
No, the most normal girl was that Aaliyah or something.
Aaliyah, the girl that left. Right?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm out of here.
She's normal.
Yeah. If you leave, you're normal. Exactly.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I actually don't want to do this. Yeah, smart.
And she was nice enough to like do a sit down dinner for Netflix and then talk to this loser and have him like spew his whole thing.
That dude's a weirdo, by the way.
What vibe is he giving off? I couldn't come up with the vibe he was giving off.
Uche, is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
Not quite John David Washington vibes. Almost there.
He's trying. I was gonna say like Emmanuel Acho vibes is what he was giving me more. Right? Or I'm just kind of like, there's something about this dude here that like I see what you're trying to like show me here, but I feel like something's a little off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This show is incredible though. I can't lie to you guys. I was fully hook, line, and sinker. As much as I try to fight it and be like, oh, it can't be that good. Like I won't be that hooked in it. Like, no, I watched after you guys said to watch it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll watch a couple episodes tonight. And then I watched the first 4 like in succession. Yeah. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, here we are.
So Netflix is a work. Okay. Because this show is so perfect. Because I'll tell you why. During the whole fucking Love is Blind, I'm on my phone.
Yes.
Whether I'm looking at fantasy football, looking at Twitter, whatever, 100%. Texting, and I have it on, and I am absorbing everything. Like I'm not missing anything from Love is Blind. And when shit does pop off, then you put it down and you go, yeah, okay, right, all right, yeah, okay. Netflix has designed the perfect show, the perfect library of shows and movies to be on your phone while you're passively watching.
100% right.
It's a work. It's a work by Netflix, and they've got us.
This is gonna sound bad too because I felt like this was a work. As soon as homegirl sat down and she said her name was Johnny, I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
something's off here. What is it? She's trying to play.
No, spelling it JHONNIE or whatever. Like, yeah.
It's actual like John JOHNIE. I'm like, hold on a second here. I need a backstory here. I need some level of explanation of how we got here. And they didn't give one. There wasn't one.
Cracked iPhone screen on her as well. But like the white girl version of it.
They were trying to give
what's the white girl version of it?
What Johnny is.
The way that like no matter what on this show they could do however many seasons and yet every single time we're gonna get hooked by the person gets turned down. They turn down someone for someone else and then they get turned down by that person and then they have to go back to the first guy and be like, hey, I think I made a mistake. You were the one I should have been with the whole time.
You weren't my second pick, even though like quite literally you were definitely her second pick. It's great.
And
The
then the
show's
other
perfect.
person is just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
good. Absolutely. This is what
How's the
love
second
is,
pick?
I think. Let's get married.
It's not supposed to be easy, right?
That's insane.
I can
Absolutely
still-
insane.
You can skip Cancun though, I think. Because there's only 2 couples. There wasn't much going on. I don't
Well, there's
Yeah.
3
No,
couples.
no, don't say that. I'm gonna
2.5.
have it on while I'm filling out my waiver wire for this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There
I
you
guess
go.
you're gonna be on your phone more.
There you go. There is so I will say that the Cancun thing, like some of the more awkward television I've seen in
Oh,
quite
yeah.
some time. Like
Yes.
painful, like I couldn't watch. It's pretty awkward type.
It's what
type
we
shit
sign
going
up
down.
for.
Yeah.
It's what I sign
So
up for.
I'm giving away a free idea for some internet young kid who is part of the content over everything generation. Okay. The Instagram model. This is free game right here for you to go viral and blow your shit up. You need to go on Love is Blind, right? Just make sure you're getting married to someone, right? Figure that out. It's pretty easy, right? Figure out a way to convince someone to propose to you, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then
I
what
think
you
I'd be
do,
rocking in the pods, by the way. I think I'd be unreal in the pods.
oh, you just letting all the jokes fly.
Oh
There's
my
no
God.
pressure at
The
all.
pipes are just immaculate,
selfie
too.
tones,
Like
yeah.
great
Right.
voice.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No. So here's your move, though. When they have the reveal, you just turn around and leave. You're like, no, I'm out. I'm out. Sorry, can't do it. Telling me that wouldn't be like the most viral moment in reality TV history, right? You're like, oh, I can't wait to see the love of my life. We fell in love in the pods. And then they have the reveal. The door opens. You're just like, nah, see ya.
Deuces.
That would be awesome.
They're saving that for like season 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
They have that in the chamber for sure.
That would be the ultimate work.
It's all a work.
See what we did there?
It's all a work.
That's all I got.
Life is but a work.
Anything
All right, so no
else?
Jays talk, no Phillies talk.
Oh, like actual Jays talk? Like what's I mean, by the
Well,
time
what are
people
your-
listen to this, it could be over. No.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like there's
we're
game
probably
ones
out.
today, game twos tomorrow. That could be
So
out of
what
the
do you think?
playoffs.
What do you think?
Is it best of 3 or is it best of 5?
Best of three.
Best of 3.
It is not best of 3. Is it
It's
really?
best
It is
three,
best
yeah.
of 3.
What?
3 road games.
best.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
fucking best.
Thursday. So by the time people listen to this on Wednesday, the series could be over.
No, okay.
It's
We're
the
out.
fucking best.
All
Is
I'm
it at
gonna say
home?
is
No. Is it at
it's on the
home
road.
for
The Jays are
it's
on the road.
For
I'll
all
say
three,
this.
right?
If you're the Jays and you did like the season was such total fuckery, you celebrate after backdooring your way into the playoffs, and then you get what you want in terms of playing Minnesota. If you can't beat Minnesota, like what are we doing here? What are we really doing here?
I can't believe it's best of 3. That's insane.
Yeah. You don't
It's
like that
sick.
format?
I like it.
3 road games, man.
Do
You
I
can
buy
really
a
build
postseason
momentum.
hat for 2 games or?
You can really.
I mean, I
build
guess I
momentum.
did that the other year, but against Tampa Bay.
Stop it.
Squish the fish, Simon. Squish the fish.
No, I'm rooting
Get
for the
that fucking
Marlins, man.
Marlins hat off your head.
Sorry.
You guys are
man.
playing the Marlins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the
Oh,
Marlins.
you guys
Sorry.
are fucked.
I'm rooting for the Marlins.
Sorry.
You guys are
What?
3-on-1 here, man. 3 Marlins fans against you, man.
It's 3-on-1. Do they have Bryce Harper?
Who?
Do they have Trey Turner?
Who?
Like, who is even on the Marlins lineup other than that one?
Jazz
that-
Chisholm, man.
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm? Bahamian.
The show cover guy, Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, great Bahamian. But other than him, like, I'm not really scared of Sandy Alcantara.
Whoa, what
Not
do you
really
mean?
worried about Luis Arez.
You're a hater, man.
Mm.
Not really worried about the pop in Jazz Chisholm's bat.
Listen, this is going to be really funny to play back
Yeah, I
on
know.
Thursday when people
What am I
listen,
gonna do?
and the
Say
Phillies
no?
are
I don't
out,
think.
baby.
Yeah, here's my measured take. I think it's going to be a good series. No, fuck that. Go fuck them up. They're the fucking Marlins. They suck dick. Get the fuck out of here. Our lineup is fucking amazing. Kyle fucking Schwarber had like 48 home runs and batted 192. He's a fucking god.
What do you know
Are you
about?
fucking kidding? Like,
What do you know
are we
about
talking
Jake
about?
Burger?
The
What do you know
fucking
about
Marlins.
Jake Burger, huh?
Not much, because I'm assuming he plays for the fucking Marlins. Never heard of the guy. Perfect team for him to be on.
In October. What happened to September?
Wake me. It's a work. The month of work.
September's
It's work. September's a work. Okay. Red Rooster is where we got married.
Yeah, Kaylee worked at Red Rooster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
So,
we talked about that.
Yeah, we went to like 8 wineries. It's all a blur now, but they were great.
Did you go to Painted Rock,
bro?
Dude, I was at Painted Rock and they landed a helicopter up there. It was fucking incredible.
Dude, I was there yesterday. That place is nasty.
Dude, God. Sick.
Yeah, we literally sat there for just like 2 hours just looking at the view while drinking wine. It was the best.
I have like 20 panorama pictures in my phone that's from Painted Rock, man. We asked about getting married there and they were like, yeah, it's like $50,000 just for the venue.
That's insane.
I was like, all right, so not here then.
It was funny you said that like a helicopter like landed there, because when we were pulling up, we were like, this looks like a Bond villain's like lair right now. Yeah, but it was sick.
Yeah, I literally just looked up to make sure that we were recording right now, because I was like, I don't know what pod this is, but this is amazing and I'm here for it.
This is the Okanagan wine tour pod.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you hit up did you go to Salty's there on the Okanagan side?
Okay, none of these names that you said have sounded like real places.
Yeah, man.
Salty's, what was the one before?
Painted Rock. Painted Rock.
None of these sound like real
Blasted
places.
Church.
Bro, but back to Painted Rock, the lady that was giving us the tasting, she just brings over this massive rock and is like, yeah, the people that were here back in the day like painted all over this like mountain, and we had a piece of the rock, and it was just like, what? Like, this was painted on this like massive piece of rock, and it's been around for hundreds of years. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it was insane.
It was wild.
Bro. It was insane. That place, honestly, the Okanagan's such a beautiful place. Yeah. Like, we were driving around the entire time.
I'd move there in a second.
Yeah.
So the other one was like not the last time we went, but the time before, the way we drove back to Calgary, instead of kind of going back the usual way, we drove all the way down to like the border through BC and Alberta, like as south as you can get. And we came across some like lakes and like little towns that were they would literally took my breath away. Like, it was unbelievable. It's the most beautiful part of definitely the country, if not North America. It's unreal there.
It's crazy to think that like that's part of Canada.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I told my buddies I was getting married in BC, and they were like in July, and they were like, do I need like a jacket? Like, I was like, no, man. It's like desert there. It's going to be
desert.
Hot.
Yeah. So I'm a write-off because I've just been at wineries for the past week.
Sick.
Wineries and weddings and stuff. So I have been watching zero sports.
How much rosé did you drink?
Though. I have a question for you. And rosé fits into the narrative of the question I'm going to ask you here. Because all those names you just listed sounded like Taylor Swift albums or Taylor Swift songs. So I'm curious how much Taylor Swift was being listened to on this trip that you just had.
Well, me and my fiance, like, we have trouble finding music in the car that the both of us will listen to. Like, because she likes classic rock, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not feeling this vibe. I'm trying to throw on some like 2000s R&B and trying to throw on some like Mario. I'm trying to throw on some Neo.
I'm trying to get busy.
Sick. And she's like, nah.
Slow jams.
So Taylor Swift is the middle ground for the both of us. And we both jam out to Taylor Swift, like, probably.
See, how did I know that? Right?
It's bringing the
sense of vibes, man.
Like 80% of the drives we were on, it was Taylor Swift essentials, Taylor Swift deep cuts, Taylor Swift, like all of it. So
B-sides.
Was she at the game this week? Was she at
the game?
Was she Let's fucking go again, or
she was pretty pumped?
She was pumped. There wasn't a lot to cheer for, though.
Look, she's just a fan like all of us, you know?
Just an NFL head, you know? She's watching all 22.
Chunk plays. She wants to see... Yeah, that's it.
She loves the pulling guard.
Loves setting up the play action, you know what I mean? She knows that you got to run the ball to throw the ball.
Does she like the tush push, or...
Oh, listen, the most unstoppable play in the NFL?
Yeah, is she into the tush push?
Who isn't?
Did you see Peyton Manning breaking down the like sneak last night?
They tried the tush push and failed.
You see that? It was really good. He was adamant that you really had to get a hand on the butt. That was the key.
That's the key.
It's a pretty good clip. The Manning cast, man, they know what they're doing.
I was watching the Eagles game, of course, and the announcers were trying to push that. No. They're calling it the brotherly shove, and it's like, no, but no.
Stop trying to make that name.
Stop trying to make Fletch happen. Okay, it's called the tush push. That's what it's called now.
That's a solid reference there by you, Webby. Sometimes your references, I'm like, okay, Webby, come on. That was a solid one right there.
I bring it up because my wife did remind me that today is October 3rd from Mean Girls. That's the date, right? That she says to the guy when she's in class.
Is it?
I love that Hags is nodding aggressively.
Yeah, come on, Hags in.
I have to come back in. Yeah, October 3rd, definitely a thing for Mean Girls. So.
Yeah. Did your fiance remind you?
She's still asleep from the red eye last night. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
This pod.
By the way, planes, the worst thing in the world. Like for chumps like us who can't afford like a little bit of extra legroom, like they just pack us in there like sardines, and it's just it's not fun at all. It's the worst experience.
Simon, how tall are you?
Yeah, okay. So I know that tall guys don't get a lot of sympathy. I'm like 6'5", and like, man, I cannot, like, planes are so bad. I can't do them. I can't get comfortable. I can't sleep. People recline, and then I'm all of a sudden like locked into one position for hours. It is horrible.
Horrendous.
And there is zero chance that I'm, upgrading a ticket. Good God, no. Never gonna happen. The most I'm gonna do is pay for like the emergency
room.
Huh?
I'm 5'6" and don't have leg room.
Horrible. Yeah. It's absolutely awful.
I'm
vertically challenged. You add on the little bit of girth, like I'm 6'3", but then I got girth as well, and then you add that on top, and it's not a pleasant experience.
So you're overflowing the armrest.
I'm not overflowing. I'm not muffin topping the airplane seat. Jesus.
The worst though is still the kid sitting behind you kicking your seat. That's where I try.
I'm that kid's dad, and it's worse for me.
Well, there was one point where, like, on the flight, I remember being kicked, and then it got aggressive, and I kind of just like turned around. I didn't say anything. I just kind of like turned around to like acknowledge, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, say something to your kid. No, like, say something. Like, you're awake. You're sitting there. You're watching this happen. Just say something. Just pretend. I understand it's a kid. I'm not even saying say sorry to me. I'm just saying, like, tell your kid to stop. And as long as that happens, and if the kid keeps doing it, I'm still going to be like, okay, it's a kid. But I want to see some level of effort put forth of parenting.
Bro, before the flight started yesterday, the kid was like wailing. And I was like, okay, like, I'm sure the parents will step in here in the next couple minutes.
No.
Next thing I know, the parents are having a full out, like, volume on high conversation on a red eye. What are you guys doing? Go to sleep. Do your parenting. Why are you on a plane if you're just going to have like full on conversations and like having not even telling your kid to be quiet? You're kind of just like encouraging it. That's why I'm like, yo, planes are the fucking worst. I hate it.
They really are. And like the crying kid is a tough one, but like at the same time, I remember I had the last flight. I guess it was to Spain. Yeah. And the kid behind us was like crying the whole time. But like I have headphones, noise cancellation. Shout out to Apple technology, right?
Massive.
Not a big deal. Cool. I don't know. It's a kid crying. I understand parents have trouble with that, but I just want to see some level of effort. Like the parent got up, started walking the kid, trying to like calm the kid down. Yeah, just show me some form of effort. That's all I ask for. Yeah. A kid's going to be a kid. The kid's going to do whatever. Just give me some effort and then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense,
my last
Webby?
Thing on this? Like, when people are getting off the plane and like they're trying to like get their luggage off the thing, we watched a full on like fight between an old man and this old lady. This old man's trying to grab his carry-on.
Yeah.
And the lady starts to like inch her way onto the aisle and he's like not done. So he like she's like nudging into him and then he full on shoves her into the seats. Like,
Let's
get
go.
back down there. And I was like, what am I watching?
We're getting
Why
spicy.
am I here?
The deplaning thing should be so easy. It's like, hey
Yes.
man, when it's your turn, stand up and get your bag.
Exactly.
People are just like,
Okay, hold on.
oh man,
Two
wrestling.
things. Much like that same instance, but let's reverse it to getting on the plane. When I'm sitting down and waiting, like you're waiting in the terminal to get on the actual plane, and they're like, "Hey, now boarding," blah blah blah.
Oh,
I'm not standing up to wait in line for
Oh, no.
another 20 minutes to sit down.
Insane.
I'm just gonna sit and wait for all these other people to line up, and then when the line gets really short, then I'm gonna get up and go onto the plane and then sit back down in my seat.
Yeah.
The logic of like the way these whole things operate in terms of taking your trip anywhere makes no sense to me. And then, yeah, you guys are right. The standing up as soon as the plane lands, as if like we're going anywhere for the next 10 minutes, is utterly ridiculous. I don't understand it.
zero awareness.
It's humanity at its lowest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's every man for
Yes.
himself immediately.
Yes.
People's decorum goes out the window
It's so
when you
true.
forget about the airplane. When you get into the airport, it's
Oh,
just like fucking it's nasty out there.
Just trying to get through security, and people are just like unloading their stuff in different bins. Their
Yeah.
shoes are all over the place. It's like, let's
They
get
should
some
be
order.
playing the purge noise over and over.
Oh.
You know what? I've been to Vancouver once, and it's funny because on the way there and back were two of the worst flights I've ever had, and for different reasons. One, on the way there, I got the seat at the very back of the plane, right? So there's 3 seats there, and I had the window seat. When I walk up to my seat, though, there's a woman sitting in my seat. So I get there, I look at her, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I have a bad back, so I just took the window seat. Is that okay?" And I'm thinking,
Fuck your back.
no, like obviously I'm thinking I'm a gentleman, so I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. Even though that literally makes no sense, right? Like there's no logic to that statement. And I'm like, okay, sure. I sit down, and again, there's a seat in between us, right? So I fall asleep. All of a sudden, midway through the flight, I'm woken up by the fact that her sock is on my arm, on the armrest.
Oh.
And I turn and I look down at her foot. I look up at her. I look down at her foot. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just had to like stretch out my back." And I'm like, What do you do in that scenario?
What can you do?
Am I going to
What can
curse
you
this
do?
woman out? I'm not going to, like, there's nothing I could do.
Who raised you?
Right?
Who raised you?
Exactly. And on the way back was even worse. The way back was an early morning flight out of Vancouver. And these dudes, I guess, were funny enough. It was like a group of 4 dudes, but they were coming back from Kelowna, I'm pretty sure, from like a ski trip weekend or whatever. And one guy's in front of me. The other guy's like, one of their buddies is beside me. The other guy's like behind us. So they're all like talking, and they're all like still rowdy, probably still drunk from the night before.
Okanagan.
That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was the fact that the dude in front of me just kept farting the most disgusting, drunken, gross ass, like, rotten stuff.
Been
like
there.
It was
Been there.
like, yo, bro, what did you do to your insides, bro? Your insides are rotten. Like, what the hell is going on? And it was so bad because it's like you're just sitting
shawarma,
there,
all
it's
coalescing and percolating.
and to the point, there's nothing you can do. You just got to sit there. You just got to sit there and take it. And it was just
I would have
like,
added to it. I would have added to it. Lay down a little of my own flavor on there.
Try to diffuse it with your own bombs.
That's right.
Sorry for taking over the podcast. I know you guys want to talk about like Edge turning his back on the WWE, going to AEW. I know. I'll let you get to
Rated
that.
R superstar.
The Rated R superstar.
Didn't he retire?
No,
Yeah,
he
what happened?
betrayed WWE
Jello?
and went to the other guys.
AEW. Yo, I'm
Yes, he's a
AEW all the way, baby.
How did he betray them? I don't get it.
He's not 25 years of being a loyal
Soldier.
superstar, and now he's going over to AEW.
The
Unbelievable.
one thing in wrestling that a wise man once told me long ago, it's all a work. It's all a work.
So he's going to come back to WWE is what you're saying?
100%.
WWE is going to buy AEW at a certain point, and we're going to get WCW all over again. Let's go.
They're
as
still
long as the video game is as hype as it was.
Holy
for Nintendo 64
revenge!
right
Are we
there.
talking
Bro,
WCW
yeah,
revenge?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Reaching
go.
into the crowd and grabbing the chair.
Stop sign and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys still
coming out
watch
with a chair?
wrestling like now? Do you still like keep up with it and know like what's going on? Or?
I'm
Oh,
online. Like
Yeah,
one of the
exactly.
best tweets I ever saw was like, "Welcome to Twitter. Here's your copy of the Communist Manifesto and a season pass to Monday Night Raw for some reason." So it's like my Twitter has a lot of wrestling content on there.
Yeah,
So
me too.
I kind of know what's going on for some reason. And plus we are like we could talk about Renee Paquette, who we like know very well, who is now married to a massive professional wrestler,
Yeah.
and she's on every week. So like Renee Paquette is hanging out with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's
You know, it's one of the
She also turned her back on the WWE.
yeah, she did. She was an original.
That's
well,
amazing.
Renee, come on, like Renee Young, like
No, she's
come
the
on,
best.
Paquette, she's Paquette, man.
She's awesome, and she's also like one of the nicest people. Like I know we always discuss our like top
Full
5
stop.
nicest people in the industry. She definitely almost cracks my top 5, but like she's on the borderline right there.
Yeah.
Just super nice, normal
I'm there. Cosign.
human being, if that makes sense. And one of my aunts who's like 80 years old, who loves wrestling, would always ask me every time I would see my auntie Diane, she would ask, "So how's Renee?" She's like 80 years old, right? And I'm like,
Tell me, you told
she's
Renee
great.
that story.